Hey guys, what's going on? My name is Alan Piñuelas, and I'm going to do a presentation on memory, which is chapter 9 in our cognitive neuroscience textbooks. And without any further ado, let's get started. So, a little breakdown of memory. Before I get into the breakdown of memory, I want to talk about learning. Okay, with learning, the best way we learn or process information is through experience. With our experiences, we both have positive experiences and negative experiences. And through those experiences, you form memories, bad memories and good memories. And so, with learning, you undergo the process of gaining information. So, learning, in a sense, enables you to use your memory. So, the main point I want you to get here is that the outcome of learning is memory. Now, some models of memories I want to get into are sensory memory, short-term memory, working memory, and long-term memory. Sensory memory is that of you can recall in milliseconds, seconds, and it's pretty unconscious. It just happens at a rapid rate. Short-term memory, this is anything from seconds to minutes, and it's very limited. Like, you can only hold 5 things in your short-term memory. So if I'm focusing on 5 things in my head and there's another stimuli that enters, it's gonna boot one of the things one of the 5 first ones I was thinking of, and boot it out, and it's gonna get the next one in line. I'm gonna remember that one. So that's one way it helps me remember it. Working memory, the best way I can associate working memory is when I'm cooking a meal that I don't recall the recipe to. The whole recipe, I remember bits and pieces of a recipe, but as I start cooking and start remembering the things I do know, the whole recipe comes to me. And that's working memory at its finest. Long-term memory are any of those memories that have been with you for over decades, and they're pretty much anything that you feel great about, a time when you were feeling yourself, a time where you did a good deed. It hits home when something brings those memories, and those memories that it's long term, man. So the major processing stages, there's 3. It's encoding, storage, and retrieval. So encoding is pretty much processing information. The acquisition is pretty much all the stimuli in your environment that could get processed if you give it the right attention. Consolidation is when you have a memory that your neurons are trying to rewire into a long-term memory. It's probably like a short-term, but it's trying to get rewired into a long-term memory. So storage is pretty much represents just like a file cabinet of all the memories you have stored, good and bad. And the way you get those memories out is through the use of retrieval, through the 3rd process stage. And when you get those memories out, you can apply it to a learned behavior. Now, as far as memory deficits, some of the key risk factors I want to get into is diseases, physical trauma, psychological trauma, brain damage caused by surgery. All of these will impair your memory and will make life that much more difficult for you to function in your everyday life. And some of the diagnoses that have been assigned to certain individuals have been anterograde amnesia. This is pretty much they cannot recall anything new, the inability to learn new things. So a movie I like to relate it to is 50 First Dates with Drew Barrymore and Adam Sandler. So with this movie, Lucy, she got into a car accident, and ever since that day, she has to rewatch a movie her parents made so she can get caught up. And she wears the same clothes every day, does the same thing every day, and doesn't even know that she's doing it every day. Retrograde amnesia, it is a loss of memory for events and knowledge that occurred before a lesion. So this is quite the opposite. Like, she doesn't remember anything before the accident, only the new things she's remembering, and it can impair someone massively. if they forget who they were at one point. So just be weary on these. Two major divisions for long-term memory include the declarative and the non-declarative. The declarative has two subgroups, and I want to get into those. The episodic are pretty much memories of personal experience. They're very vivid. You were there, you experienced them, and you can talk much about it because you were in depth because you were there, person. Semantic, this is pretty much objective knowledge that is factual, but you have no you have no context in which it was learned. So a good analogy is me being born. I know I was born July 26, 1994 at El Centro Regional Medical Hospital, but I don't remember how it felt like experiencing the world for the first time, what I saw. I just know I was born July 26th. Anything else is out of my league, man. Not and the other division is the non-declarative. This is pretty much it doesn't require conscious thought. You just knowledge without conscious thought. It just comes to you. It's just it's aha moments, things of that nature. And this is a bit I like to read to you guys. It's cognitive neuroscience relating to memory. And at the cellular level, changes in the synaptic strengths between neurons in neuronal networks in the medial, temporal lobe, neocortex, cerebellum, and elsewhere are the most likely mechanisms for learning and memory. So by doing all the studies, we've researched that this is the way our memory gets impaired and how it functions at a proper level. And just hopefully we can keep building on this in the neuroscience field so we can get a better understanding of how our brain works and things we can input to maximize our results for memory. And for those who have impairment in memory, to help aid them in their daily life. Here is Henry Molaison, HM, and HM is an interesting character because he had a epilepsy which caused him a lot of distraught, and so he went through and they asked HM if he was down if they removed his temporal lobe, amygdala, entorhinal cortex, and hippocampi. Yes, that resolved some of his epilepsy issues, but along came other issues that they were not considering. So I mean, and this is it. I hope you enjoyed it. Do you guys have any questions for me? Feel free to let me know. Thank you.